Hello friends of S.P.A.C Sardinia. Welcome to my channel. In this video I will talk about the Domus de Janas. The Domus de Janas are prehistoric tombs carved into the rock typical of pre-Nuragic Sardinia. They are found either isolated or in large groups of more than 40 tombs. From the recent Neolithic to the ancient Bronze Age, 4400 and 2000 BC, these structures were found in all parts of the island except Galura. More than 2,400 of them have been discovered, about one for every square kilometer, and it is assumed that many still remain to be found. They are often linked together to form veritable underground cemeteries, sharing a common access corridor, dromos, and an entrance that is sometimes very spacious and has a high ceiling. In Italian, the Sardinian term Domus de Janas, southern variant, has been translated into fairy houses. Domus de Janas in other parts of the island are also known as Forus, Foridus, Conchedas, Grutus. Archaeologists claim that the first Domus de Janas were excavated around the middle of the 4th millennium BC during the period when the culture of S.P.A.C developed on the island, recent Neolithic 3400 and 3200 BC. The Ossuary culture, late Neolithic 3200 and 2800 BC, spread throughout Sardinia, with the exception of most of Galura. The people of the ossuary culture were hard-working and peaceful, dedicated to agriculture and with a particular religion that had a correspondence in the distant Cyclades Islands. They worshipped the sun and the bull, symbols of male strength, the moon and the Mediterranean mother, symbols of female fertility. Stylized statuettes of the mother goddess have been found in these burials and places of worship. The caves were built on ridges where living rock emerged, one next to the other, so that over time they formed veritable necropolises. Although present in other Mediterranean sites, on the island they acquire a unique and extraordinary character due to the careful workmanship, the characteristic architectural aspects and the rich decorations that recall what were the houses of the living, but on a reduced scale, it is thought, more or less by half, giving a precise idea of how the houses of the Paleo-Sardinians were actually built 5,000 years ago. Thus, one can find round hut-shaped caves with cone-shaped roofs, but also with rectangular spaces and sloping roofs, equipped with doors and windows. The walls were often decorated with magic symbols in relief, representing stylized taurine horns, spirals and other geometric designs. There are in fact quite a number of naturalistic or schematic representations of the taurine head, or of the horns alone, which testify to the cult of a deity who was the principle of regeneration for the dead as a symbol of life and fertilizing power. Alongside the relief decoration, there are also engraved and painted decorations, the latter documented in particular in the famous tomb of Mandra Antine Dithesi in the province of Sassari, where linear and geometric motifs appear. Following special rites, the deceased was transferred from what had been his or her usual home during life to another house, in accordance with an ancient ideal principle, peculiar to these peoples, that presupposed the eternal continuity of the human being. The bodies were laid in the fetal position and are thought to have been painted with red ochre, as were the walls of the tomb itself. The bodies were laid out in the fetal position, and it is thought that they were painted with red ochre, as were the walls of the tomb itself. Over time the grave goods were removed to make way for new depositions, and this custom repeated over the centuries has prevented a better understanding of the phenomenon, and for this reason the hypothesis that the Domus de Janas were destined for a single family group remains unproven. Other hypotheses claim that the body was left out in the open to be stripped of its flesh, and only later, when it was reduced to a skeleton, was it placed in the caves. I leave you to watch the video. I hope you like it. Remember to subscribe to the channel and leave a nice like. Thanks from S.P.A.C Sardinia Paranormal Archaeology channel.